Hare Krishna. These are the Srimad Bhagavatam verses 5, 5th canto, chapter 15, the descendants of King Prevrata, texts 2 to 7. So some of these verses give a lot of names. These are quite unusual names. We know that many people are looking for unusual names, so we can give them some of the names in these verses so that they'll be satisfied that their children are unique. Okay. The other verses have got very significant instructions from the Bhagavatam. First is that God consciousness is not imaginary or concocted. If you remember, impersonalists will try to say that actually Krishna is not a person and our consciousness of God is just something, some way in which we try to give up our individuality. And anything you do to give up your individuality is fine. So that is rejected firmly by the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because we see that King Pratiha propagated these principles of self-realization and he became a great devotee of the Supreme Lord Vishnu and directly realized him. He directly realized him. That means it is not a concoction. He realized Lord Vishnu. Then further, there are details about King Gaya. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions that these historical references to exalted kings serve as a good example for the present rulers. Okay, that is in text 8. In text 7, we find exactly how he ruled. We have seen in the last 1 or 2 days how the country of Greece has been forced to bow down before the rich countries to accept alms from them as a condition for their banks to reopen. Because their banks don't have any money with them, because a lot of money was, according to the others, most of the budget of the Greece government is spent on welfare measures for the citizens, and therefore they owe more than 90 billion euros, unimaginable amounts of money. They spent money which they had borrowed. Now, let us see what they actually should have done if they were following Srimad Bhagavatam. It is described that the responsibility of the ruler was to give full protection and security to the citizens so that their personal property would not be disturbed by undesirable elements. So, this is his first duty. He has to maintain the army and police, security people, so that they are not endangered by enemies or thieves and rogues. Second, he has to make sure there is enough food to feed everyone. Now, we should remember that the ideal society of agriculture, there is enough food. And if everyone just has, each person has just 1 acre of land with enough water, he can easily grow enough food to feed his family. So it is only beyond that, if people don't have land, or if they are in an occupation which is away from the land, for example, Vaishyas, or actors, or craftsmen who live in the city, such people. So merchants, craftsmen, artists, people like this who live in the city, and of course Kshatriyas who are posted in the city, they will not be involved in agriculture, so they have to have enough food. So King Gaz had to make sure that everyone who wasn't growing their own food, they had food. Or if the crops failed, then he had to provide them food. This was his responsibility. So I'm sure you wouldn't like to be a ruler if this was made your responsibility, that somehow or other you have to do it, unless you have a real Kshatriya spirit. So those of Kshatriya spirit are ready that, okay, I will look after the people. That is called Kshatriya spirit. And then they're ready to go out and do innovative things in order to give these things. Protection and security, enough food. But just doing that, you cannot relax. These welfare activities are not enough. King Gaya was not just a welfare producer, but he was also caregiver. This is what we have actually in Bhakti Vriksha. We are propagating by the mercy of Guru Maharaja, who has got this philosophy from his Srila Prabhupada. Caregiving is the most important duty of the leaders. I want all of you to become leaders. Now, as leaders, you probably at this point in time don't have to give protection or security to the people, or you don't have to give them enough food also, until your responsibilities become such that actually you become rulers of some place. Okay, until then, what you have to do is to give care. You can, of course, give some welfare by employing people, starting businesses and employing people, and in that way, looking after their needs, give them protection, give them security, give them food. But that is not enough. You have to give care. See what he did. He would sometimes call meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. Upalalana. So this also you need to do. Have nice ishtagostis with the people who are working for you. Give them sweet words. Sometimes people take from Prabhupada only what they want. Chopping technique, they say. Prabhupada spoke tough words. But remember, Prabhupada didn't speak only tough words. He did also all these things which King Gaya said. He would call meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. Some of you, like our dear Rangadevi, daughter of Sundarup Shamprabhu, who is in Tirupur, she has already read the first volume of Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. So she knows by now how nicely and sweetly Prabhupada spoke. Anant has also read. So those who have read, you know how nicely Srila Prabhupada, apart from chastising his disciples, he would also speak sweet words to them, satisfy them. This is what every leader should do. Then he should also give them good instructions on how to become first-class citizens. So this is called Anushasan. So this is also the duty of the leader, not to just speak sweet words, but also give them instructions on how to become first-class citizens. So this sometimes requires chastisement, in the sense that when we tell someone you must get up early in the morning and you must chant and you must do this and that, especially the youth, sometimes you may think, oh, it is difficult. Some of you wake up early, and we're so happy with you for doing that. Others, please do wake up early and chant as much as you can. Like this, there are so many instructions I'm giving all of you. Get up early, chant your 16 rounds nicely, do arati if possible, and have only prasadam, and hear the lectures of the senior devotees, and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, and also conduct your preaching classes where you give, you teach people. So do so many different kinds of services, and always be engaged in rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna and to his devotees, and constantly be using your intelligence, not in how will I get more sense gratification, but how will I increase this Krishna consciousness movement more and more. And if you want ideas, please ask me, please ask the senior devotees, and we'll tell you what you can do. So such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order, that he gave them all such instructions how to become first-class citizens. So we are also giving you instructions received from our previous acharyas, how all of you must become first-class citizens of ISKCON and therefore of the world. Every one of you must do that. Besides all this, King Gaya was a householder who strictly observed the rules and regulations of household life. So he did all this, he performed sacrifices, he looked very well, he looked after his family, and he was an unalloyed pure devotee of Krishna. So because he was all this, he did everything, and he was a very good householder. He was very much loved by everyone. As a devotee, he was always ready to give respect to other devotees and to engage in bhakti. So please give respect to all the devotees. And this is Bhakti Yoga. By doing this, like King Gaya, you will become free from the bodily conception. I, me, mine, I am this body, I am a girl, I am a boy, I am a father, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a son, I am this and I am that. Instead, we should have our spiritual realization that yes, I am eternal servant of Krishna. In the spiritual world, we may have a different body, we may have a boy's body, a girl's body, man's body, woman's body, doesn't matter what. So we shouldn't have therefore an attachment to what we have now, what body we have now. We have another wonderful transcendental body in the spiritual world, and that is what we should think of ourselves of as. And in this way, always serve Krishna very nicely, and always be anticipating when will I go back home, back to Godhead, and really serve Krishna directly and purely. Hare Krishna.